What is up, down and sideways, all you lovely individuals? This is League on Lock. That's Mark. My name is Eric for the Power Rankings installment of the week. We're still trying to navigate, is that even the right word, through the LCS as it continues to be an absolute mess from basically 2 to 9 in the standings.
Yeah, you know what? When you look at the very top, there's no secrets who should be the #1 team here in the LCS because we only have one top caliber team in the LCS so far.
Just one team.
Hey, there's a couple squads that I think have a chance, some potential here to improve, round things out, and get towards that area, but I don't know if anyone will be touching that top spot other than the squad who dominates it right now.
The bookends of the LCS stand true again in Week 4. That is right. Counterlogic Gaming still sitting on that lone win and still sitting and looking like far and away the worst team in the league.
You know what? Them holding down number 10 here is only because Dignitas Academy ended up losing this week. Because I tell you what, that Dignitas Academy squad might be right here at number 10.
They're absolutely better than CLG.
CLG is holding it down right now, and this is a lot of disappointment here for this number 10 team that a lot of people thought there'd be many reasons to see them have some form of success. There's been absolutely zero success for the CLG squad.
And 10 is where it's really not debatable. Then it gets a little bit messy. Team Liquid is up a spot, one single spot with Brox's debut weekend, and that's, I mean, they lost to Immortals. It's tough to even move you up a slot when all you did was beat that 10th place CLG squad. They looked much better against CLG, but every team was looking good against them.
Right, exactly. That's how much do you want to put into that domination of CLG given what you have seen from the rest of that squad and knowing what you have seen from TL here in the past 2 weeks or so and seeing some of these same issues continue in that matchup that they lost against Immortals. Yes, there's a lot of other factors going on, you know, maybe having a jungler come over in less than 24 hours and having to go off against...
playing 6 scrim games with the team,
a couple scrim games and then saying, hey, yeah, you got to go up against Smithy. That's fair, right? The best jungler that you're
didn't dominate?
Here.
Sad what
times.
A bad move by Liquid.
And I know people are looking into the solo queue performance of Broxton now in NA and going, oh my God, there's 8 straight losses type of thing. This is a total mistake. Pump the brakes there, buddy. This is going to be a little bit time here. Brox has got the talent. Everything can work here. I want to see the payoff here of the offseason of Broxa working with Jensen over in Europe. That's the benefit that I want to see of some of that coming through here. A couple more scrim games, and then I think you can really put the gears to TL if they're not improving.
Look at the difference after a full week of scrims and him not being jet-lagged. You'll definitely see it. 100 Thieves moved down a lot. They had a very underwhelming 0-2 week, and they're just so passive. You hardly see them making many plays on the map, and that was an issue they had in 2019 as well. Evil Geniuses and Dig also both down a couple of spots, but EG, Svenskeren has not looked at all at an MVP level. That matchup against Cloud9, I think he forgot what jersey he had on.
And hey, we were talking about Svenskeren into this and saying, look, we wanted to give him some time. We wanted the jungle experience to be maybe figured out type of thing, get him back to that MVP type of level. And I know everything hasn't been solved out with the jungle XP, but his performances, we have not really seen much of an increase in them throughout the entirety of this split so far, where you would have hoped some type of chemistry would have developed on Evil Geniuses.
And the strong point on this squad was supposed to be Svenskeren and Jizuke, hyper-aggressive jungle mid duo. They have not gotten on the same page for the majority of the first 4 weeks. The top 5, Dignitas falls out of it, and a lot of that is because of that head-to-head matchup against the Golden Guardians, who climb for the 2nd straight week. And Mark, they've won 3 games in a row.
And look, it's exactly like we talked about. You had the top lane doing okay, Closer's been doing a good job there in the jungle, and Golden Glue's been holding his own most of those matches in the mid lane. And Keith McBrief and FBI bot open up. They have been fantastic the past 2 weeks. Really a drastic improvement in the way that they've played and the way they've been able to play with the rest of the Golden Guardians on that team. This squad has really turned things around here, specifically in the last 2 weeks, and has me excited to see if they can continue this trajectory and improvements.
And Immortals go 1-1. They're actually down a spot, even though they have a better record than TSM, and TSM had a highly questionable 0-2 week. You still have more faith in that squad going forward than Immortals. I know it's harsh, but even with 5 wins, I don't know if probably 4 of them have not been super confident.
Right. I think this ranking here, having TSM 3 and Immortals as 4, is more about really the performances and the players that you've seen on TSM and the way that they've looked. Even in those 2 losses that you had this past week, I think that the performances from the players were themselves mostly okay, and you can look at the draft for some of these issues here of what needs to be cleaned up in order to turn that result around for TSM.
And it looked like Team Solo Mid had a clear path to that second spot in the rankings with a 9,000 gold lead over FlyQuest in that matchup that they had. But somehow, I mean, a impressive display of terrible team fighting from TSM and getting back into the game for FlyQuest. It turns out you get an Ace and a Dragon Soul in one team fight, you can get back in the game.
Right, and as much as we did talk about just recently the draft being some of the issues for TSM and liking some of the individual player performances, that is still allowing that, yes, there were a couple of bad choices in these team fights that did lead to ways for FlyQuest to stall out this game here into the position where, hey, look, even if you had a 9K, 10K gold advantage, it looked like this was an even game all the way throughout here, even with the advantages and the strong early game that TSM was able to play. The one disappointing thing really for this weekend for them is when you're thinking about, man, they could have done better here, but FlyQuest, they held on in that matchup, getting themselves that win, and look, at least they know that Ornn, he's busted broken.
Yeah, you got to ban Ornn or pick him. I'm just waiting for him to show up in the support role. It doesn't matter where he's going. He's absolutely insane right now. And FlyQuest, completely, almost actually exactly a jump that we saw from last week, except they went up the standings this time. A 2-0 week. That just speaks to the volatility of this middle of the pack in the LCS. They looked like an entirely different squad in week 4 compared to week 3.
I thought a strong performance from Power of Evil in the mid lane was the capital point here for FlyQuest this weekend. I thought he did a really great job, and hey, props to him. Didn't get it right the first time this week, but the second time this week got the Ornn upgrade in the right spot here. That is the big
learning.
One. Hey,
Progress.
It might seem elementary school, but we are making progress on these ornaments in the right spot.
And Cloud9 is making the rest of the LCS look like elementary school kids playing on the Rift. It's to the point now where it's difficult to judge how good Cloud9 actually is because all of the other teams are just kind of barely staying above water. TSM gets this, oh man, 2-0 start.
They weren't good on this play, but everything else in this match against TSM was very good.
It's impressive they bounced back from that and even had a gold lead at 15 minutes after such a terrible start.
There really shouldn't have been a way for them to get back into this game, but some strong individual performances was the way that they were able to get through with that one. And again, Nisqy, people have talked about him and where you want to put him amongst the rest of these mid laners. Right now, he is climbing in that top 5 ranking of mid laners here that we have in NA with some incredible performances. And again, that synergy that he has with Blabber and willing to go in every single time, that is an incredible amount of performance.
3rd week in a row, a player from Cloud9 gets Player of the Week. It's now been Zven, Blabber, and Nisqy. The final boss for them for the 9-0 start to the season is, of course, CLG in 10th place, and you know that that's where the dream will end for Cloud9. It just makes sense that they will get the loss there, but for now, clearly number 1 in the LCS rankings.